Channing Humphrey with Semi Pro Live, and we are back for another edition of the CCE Live Draft presented by Semi Pro Live. I've got Coach Courtney Jackson with me. He's going to be leading us through this, giving us more information about these players as we get these names picked and this draft going. So, I'm going to have Coach Courtney tell us a little bit more about his program and what we should expect this season.
Man, we're getting down to the end. Before I get started on the 7U group, I want to say for those people out there that have kids that are 5 or 6 that have talent, that want to compete, want to see where they are amongst their peers, just want to play football, love the game. We need and want more kids on that level to it. So definitely hit me up. Let me know. Inbox me at CCE Courtney Jackson, CCE Texas Courtney Jackson, so that I can be able to get information on your kid and try to get them signed up. Once again, we need 6U and 5U kids that are playing tackle, that want to come and compete in Dallas, Texas, on the stage to try to get that extra ring. With that being said, and me getting that out the way, let's talk about this 7U draft. It was a 7U draft of some of them. It's star-studded, man. I'm just hoping and optimistic that every kid that's drafted wants to participate in something for themselves. Oftentimes, Channing, we get caught up into coaches wanting to go everywhere and play games and compete, travel here and there. CCE is one of those opportunities where the kid gets to go in there for himself, representing the back of his jersey, the name on the back of his jersey, and representing the organization that he played for all season by showcasing his skills, showcasing his hard work and his determination and dedication to being the best he could be. And that's what it's about. It's an end of the year opportunity. It is the ultimate Senior Bowl. It is the ultimate Pro Bowl for kids that are talented, who want to see where they rank amongst others. CCE, a place where the elite come to compete.
Most definitely. Well, without further ado, we're going to get straight into the draft. We're going to start off the 7U draft with Team Mamba. So, Coach, tell us what Texas University will represent Team Mamba this year.
TCU.
All right.
TCU. Those Horned Frogs, man, representing, wearing that dark purple and that black with like the Wakanda around the neck, and on they got some sweet uniforms, man. And then the things that go along with it, all the accessories and stuff is gonna be pretty dope. At purple and black. It's nice. You know what I'm saying? So it's a real nice, aggressive type uniform. I'm excited about this team.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's get to the coaches. The coaching staff will consist of Coach Greg and one of my semi-pro brothers, Coach Lenny and Coach Tony Davis. So tell us about this staff.
Man, I rock with Coach Lenny and Coach Davis, and I'm hoping that they can participate in it. I know they're conflicted in some ways with it. They did CCE last year. They have one of the top teams in the country, and they are the creme de la creme when you
On
think
a
about
mission.
youth football coaches, as well as Coach Greg. Man, Coach Greg has the respect of everybody around here. He does a great job with that Bills organization, getting them
Most
ready to go.
definitely.
Those kids are excited to play for them. And at the younger ages, you need kids that love you, and you make the game fun. You make it to where learning is something that they love doing and they have fun doing. It shouldn't be an assignment at 6 years old. It should be some funness with it. And not only can they think the game, they can also play the game. And I'm just excited to see how this coaching staff is going to mesh, and then see how these players, this talented group of players, is going to look together on the field.
Well, hey, man, Coach Greg was actually my son's first tackle football coach. He was actually on that, well, what now is that 7U Bills team last year. So, man, him and Lenny teamed up. I know it's going to be a great combination. But without further ado, let's get to the stars of this show. So, with the first picks of the draft, as I said with the earlier drafts, it's in no particular order. It's just grouped by position. But our quarterback positioning will start with Zayden Davis, quarterback, Pac Prime. Zayden Henry, quarterback, NDU. Chance Bailey, quarterback, New Orleans Dolphins. Jeremy George, offensive and defensive lineman, New Orleans Dolphins. Jacaden Stevenson. Coach, pronounce that last name for me.
Stevenson.
Okay, I said it right. My bad. Stevenson, offense and defensive lineman, North Texas Bills. Elijah Bynum, offense and defensive lineman, North Texas Bills. We've got Jackson Thornton, offense and defensive lineman, TNS. Dre Baker, offense and defensive lineman, Pac Prime. Armando Guzman, center, SED. Wade Adams III, linebacker, running back, Charleston Trojans, Indiana. And we've got Sebastian Adams, offense and defensive lineman, Charleston Trojans, Indiana. Aiden Campbell Smith, power back, defensive tackle, Pac Prime. Jordan Hunt, crew, running back. And we got Cash. Help me out with that last name, Coach.
Stibe.
He's a running back from Denham Springs, Louisiana. Joshua Wilson Jr., running back, New Orleans Dolphins. Dorian Crowell Jr., he's a running back from the PG Seahawks. And we've got Josiah Mathis, he's a running back, middle linebacker, Killeen Cove Chiefs. And then we've got Theodore, help me out with that last name, Coach.
Arojo,
and he's a middle linebacker from SED. Then we're going to have Kobe Hooper. He is a tight end, defensive end, the Abilene Bucks. Alex Brown Jr., he is a cornerback, RDU. Jason B., he is a cornerback, New Orleans Dolphins. Bryce Clark, he is a linebacker, RCU. Adrian Asbury, he's a offensive and defensive lineman from the Fort Worth Crimson Tide. And we've got LeBron Walker, he's an offensive and defensive lineman, TNS. DeCarlos Washington, offensive and defensive lineman, Southside Ducks out of Houston. So, Coach, tell me about this team.
All right, let me start it off, man. You know, I'm always a sucker for somebody who's nice, wearing that 23. And Nevin Davis, he's the operator, man. I mean, he can perform surgery on folks. How precise he is and everything he does, in and out of breaks, better than the best in and out burger you've ever had. He has the ability to score from anywhere on the field, which is nice. So, you know, if I were to give him a name, and Tony, I want you to think about this. I like the operator, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like back in the old days, you used to call on somebody. When you call on somebody for help, you call to the operator. And
hey, Coach, I'm not going to lie. I like him. I've only seen this kid in big-time games. The only time we've had the pleasure of filming him was in the playoffs versus it was a Texas Sports playoff game, and we gotten the pleasure to see him versus the Crew. So they were only big time games, and the kid was cool. But
yeah, I mean, every time he bangs his head on the goalpost, like more. I mean, like he's going to get in the end zone. He's going to get in that, they call it a rectangular box. He's going to get in there. So I like the operator, man, because like I said before, you call on the operator when you need help, and you also need an operator whenever there's dire help, when you need surgery, to perform surgery on that defense. That's what he could do at the quarterback position. Then you got Zayden Henry from NDU, another kid, man, that you put the ball in his hands, good things happen. You put the ball in his hands, good things happen. Then you got Chance Bailey from the New Orleans Dolphins. So, you know, at this age, quarterbacks are great athletes. So the quarterback can go from being a quarterback to receiver, still make plays on the field. We don't want these kids being so caught up into I only, and then you get to a point to where you have that I only situation and you feel like it's disrespect for somebody to say they need you at receiver. We got to be fluid with kids and say that he's a quarterback, but he's a football player also. And I like that with all three of these kids. Then you got some of the O-linemen. You got Jeremy George. So you got that New Orleans Dolphins connection right there. Jakaden Stevenson with the Bills, Elijah Bynum, two big boys on the Bills line, Jackson Thorne from TNS, Tadre Baker, Pac Prime. Then you got an SED center and Armando Guzman. And then you got the Adams boys, Wayne Adams, the linebacker, running back from Chesterton Trojans, Indiana. And then you got Sebastian Adams. Those two kids are going to help you out in your game. And then you got the incredible Hulk, Aiden Climpel Smith, the baddest man on the planet in my eyes. You know, the man that demands all 22 eyes be on him at every play. That is that guy, Big Aiden. And then you have Jordan Hunt from True, somebody who I like a whole bunch. This kid is nice. This kid has wiggle. This kid can get to the end zone. And then from Jordan Hunt, you got Cash Stipe, Denham Springs, Louisiana. Another kid who's no stranger to the end zone. It's like his second home. Joshua Wilson from the Dolphins. So you see them going with a little Texas and Louisiana. Texas and Louisiana. That's what it's looking like. Dorian Crowell from PG, another running back. Josiah Mathis from Killeen Code Chiefs. I'm sorry. Then you go back with SCD with another linebacker. SCD has a solid program. SCD. Then you go to Kobe Hooper, tight end, DN, Abilene Bucks. Alex Brown, corner, RDU out of Georgia. So you know he's tough. He's one of the only people last year that was able to slow down Aiden, and he was on their team. JC B, another corner from New Orleans Dolphins. Bryce Clark, another tackling guy from RCU. Adrian Asbury, another lineman from the Fort Worth area. LeByron Walker, another lineman from TNS, the Fort Worth area. And then you close it off with another lineman, DeCarlos Washington from the Southside Ducks. They got beef. They got a lot of tough guys. And then they got some ultimate playmakers. You know, not a lot of receivers, but running backs at this age can play receiver. You can use them in the run game with running reverses. So I'm not worried about them not having a whole bunch of quote-unquote receivers. They will be just fine with this draft.
Ooh, that sounds like a street fight right there. That's going to be a mugging, whatever team has to go up against them. But before we move on, man, I have to say, last time I got a chance to see Aiden in person, it was inspiring. Like, it was one of those few times they didn't come out on the winning end. It was in that crew game, but I don't know if he like had his team around for like some kind of halftime speech. All I saw was like, "Follow me and I'll win the game for you." And I looked and he made me feel like I could play, you know? So big shout out to him, man. And I hope he makes this event because it'd be our pleasure to get to film that again. So let's move on to the next team in this CCE draft for 7U. And we're going to have Team Grind. So Team Grind, if I remember correctly, this team will be represented by the great University of Baylor and that money green. Is that correct, Coach?
No. Grind is all red, and that is University of Houston Cougars. All red.
Well, I'll make mistakes from time to time. It's not just the names. I'm sorry. And if I did mispronounce any names at the event, we will be giving interviews, one-on-one interviews to those kids whose names were mispronounced. And my apologies. So let's get to the coaching staff. So we've got Coach. Oh, hold on. That's Tavar from the hit show Tavar and Them. And you guys check that out, man. That's not. I think that's the right. No. Yeah, that is the right one. My producer, she's a little confused. And we got Fred. So, Coach, tell us about this coaching staff.
Man, Tavar Hamilton is somebody I've been rocking with for a long time. He's like a little brother. You know, we got a lot of common friends. And I just applaud him on what he's doing with his family and trying to, you know, get those kids that great education out there. And then also trying to spread their love through his Bobcat organization and doing that back in his own community. I'm a person who's similar to that, of trying to definitely get back to where I came from and just all the respect levels of being in the trenches of it. The respect goes there. And then you have Coach Fred Weaver. This is going to be a good staff together. They don't necessarily, they haven't been game planning, but that's what it's about. I like the fact of it is Tavar is going down to the 7U level. Fred's on the 7U level. And I think that we're going to add a third coach with them, third head coach. And then each one will be able to bring an assistant in there. And we feel like that'll be a sufficient staff for these kids to be taught and have some opportunities at development. Even though we're trying to evaluate throughout this process, we want to try to be teaching them the rights and wrongs, or at least showing them some other techniques that maybe somebody says is wrong, somebody says is right. We want to be able to open their eyes to other opportunities or other avenues or other ways of being able to skin a cat. So this is going to be a good coaching staff. And like I said before, they'll be an all red represent Team Grind, University of Houston Cougars.
All right. Well, now we got the coaches out the way. Let's get to the stars of the show. Now, these picks will be in no particular order. We're going to start off with the quarterback group first. We have LaKendrick Young, quarterback SED. Then we have Aiden Thompson, quarterback Brick City Lions. Jaden Davis, offense and defensive lineman from the great state of California. Caden Brown, offense and defensive lineman from the City Black Wolves, Las Vegas, Nevada. We've got William Stokes. He's an offense and defensive lineman from SED out of Dallas, Texas. Israel, and Coach, help me out with that last name from the offense.
Just Israel O. I don't want to try to kill it. Israel O.
Israel O. Hey, Israel, we'll get you an in-person interview. You'll catch me up on the phonetics on that one. We've got Javan Alonzo. He's a defense and offense. Giovanni Alonzo. He's a defense and offensive lineman from NDU. I should know that one. Camden Ross. He's a center from League City. We've got Brandon Martinez. He's a defensive end and tight end from Cypress. Julius Bailey, a running back and linebacker from California. Marjor help me with that first name, Coach, for Chapman.
Major Chapman.
Major Chapman. He's an athlete. Major Cheatman. Hey, I owe you an interview as well, sir. Sorry about that one. He's an athlete from the great SED program. And then we've got King Lewis. He's a safety from SED. We've got Alonzo McQueen. He's a running back / free safety from the Duval Jazz. We've got Cameron Mobile. Help me out that last name, Coach.
Moblin.
He's a running back and DB from TNS. We've got Jaden Salgado. Help me out with that, Coach. Salgado. He's a offense and defensive lineman from NDU. We've got Dominique Fleming. He's a linebacker from the New Orleans Dolphins. We've got Keyshawn Bennett. He's an outside linebacker and a defensive end from California. Tyler Primetime Allen. He's a DB and running back from the Baldwin Hills Bruins. Big shout out, man. I spent a lot of time over in View Park growing up. British Walker II. He's a cornerback from the Richmond Chiefs. We've got Michael Lewis. He's a athlete from ABN / the Crew. We've got Juan Johnson. He's a cornerback / wide receiver from NDU. Emilio Navarro. He's a wide receiver / DB from TCU. Anthony Allen Jr. He's a offensive and defensive lineman from Houston. And King Thompson, offensive and defensive lineman, rounded up from TNS. Coach, tell us about this squad.
I like it. LaKendrick Young is somebody who I think is special. He's nice with it. You can't argue with that. Aiden Thompson from the Brick City Lions. You don't go get kids from out of the area and they not be talented. He's going to be somebody who's going to really turn some heads. And then you look at the linemen. Half the linemen are out of state. Whenever you go get players from out of state and other places, you're not going to go get a dud. You're getting somebody whose parents recognize that their talents, their son's talents or daughter's talents are unique, and they want to showcase it and use it as a measuring stick to see if they're commensurate with their peers. So you got Jaden Davis, big time. Caden Brown, Sin City Black Wolves, Nevada. William Stokes, SED. Can't argue with them. Israel O played last year. Nice, out of Houston. Andrew Hawkins, NDU. Giovanni Alonzo, NDU. NDU was one of the top 3 or 4 teams in 6U last year, folks, in the whole state. You know, those kids are good. Those kids are good. Those kids played well for Pat last year. Camden Ross, a center from League City. Brandon Martinez, a pass rushing specialist and a tight end out of Cyprus. Then you got Julius Bailey, a guy that could turn the corner on anybody out of California. Major Cheatman, a kid out of with SED. King Lewis, super nice, strong safety. Alonzo McQueen, running back. Remember that name? Duval Jags out of
Yes,
Florida.
definitely.
Florida. Then you got Cameron Moblin, TNS, hoping this kid plays, doesn't go do something else. Um, Jaden Salgado is another kid that can open up the holes for you. Tough kid, NDU. Then you go Dominique Nico Fleming, would knock your head off. New Orleans Dolphins. Keyshawn Bennett, another outside linebacker, DN, pass rushing specialist, kind of kid from California. Then you got Tyler Primetime Allen. That's TPTA. He's gonna have you in school or he gonna have you in trouble some kind of way. Tyler Primetime Allen. I'm telling y'all, he is somebody nice. He's out of Baldwin Hills, California. They're not coming all this way just to be friends. British Walker, the second, lockdown corner out of Richmond Chiefs. Malachi Lewis is an athlete. ABN, crew ABN. You know what the pedigree is. If those
Same
kids
DNA.
they make a difference on anybody's team. Oni Johnson, another NDU kid. This is a heavy NDU. Emiliano Navarro, TCU. Anthony Allen Jr. out of Houston, and then King Thomas, another lineman. They went lineman, the last couple picks in there to it. They have a couple receivers. They have a lot of playmakers, and they have a lot of kids coming from different places. Will they be able to mesh? I think they will be with that coaching staff. I think Tavares going to make it fun. Like I said before, I can't say it enough. You got to make it fun for these young kids, and they'll show you. They'll come through for you on the end. This is a good group. It's a well-balanced group, and I think that this staff is going to do a good job when we add the third coach, and then they bring their assistants on. This staff is going to do a damn good job of assimilating this talent and making it right, integrating this talent together.
Most definitely, most definitely. And that team, similar to my Monday night show that you guys should check out, it's got Tavar involved, and he manages to get a lot of NDU involved as well. So let's go ahead and move on to our next team, which is going to be Team Hustle. So, Coach, what Texas University will represent this team?
Man, Hustle is straight University of Texas Longhorns. They throwing this up. I don't throw it up often because I'm a DeSoto U guy, but I'll throw up that Longhorn when it's representing CCE. The Longhorns, man, they're gonna be in that icy white. You can't argue with the icy white. The icy white is just a nice look. I mean, if I was a father, I might buy my son a white helmet just so he fits in and looks even more pretty, in that icy white. So
what brand? You got a helmet sponsor?
No, I don't have a helmet sponsor, man.
You need a helmet sponsor if you suggested buying
when
new
you're
helmets.
doing things right and you're doing things for kids, you don't get as many sponsors as you think you're supposed to get.
Man, Shuck, reach out to us.
There it is. But the coaches, man, the Johnson boys. I got Chris Johnson going back down to do 7U. He had done 8U last year. We're going to keep him down with this 7U. In there with he's a North Texas Bills coach. And then I got Justin Johnson, man. Two really, really good, strong coaches who will be coaching on this level, who know a lot of the kids and know a lot of the kids from the North Texas area. They're North Texas strong. We will be adding a third coach to them, probably somebody out of the area. And then this will be their staff along with the assistants that they bring in.
Well, all right. Without further ado, let's get to the stars of the show. So we got Austin Johnson, quarterback, TNS. Braden Welton, he's a quarterback from Team Elevate out of Kansas. We've got Kiteri Scott. He's a offense and defensive lineman from SED. We've got Crane Frazier, defensive end, North Texas Bills. Santana Landros, he's an offense and defensive lineman from EGB. Aiden Johnson, a offense and defensive lineman from the DFW Elite. Adrian Asbury, he's a offense and defensive lineman, Crimson Tide, and I believe that may be a typo, Coach. We've got Nolan. Help me out with that last name, Coach.
Give me 1 second.
Gainesville Gators.
I'm off the page right now.
No problem, no problem. We've got Nolan of the Gainesville Gators. I'm going to give you an interview whenever you get down here. He's an offense and defensive lineman. We've got Deacon Aguilard. He's a offense and defensive lineman from the Denham Yellow Jackets. We've got Simon Reese Whitfield. He's a offense and defensive lineman from the New Orleans Dolphins. We've got John Reed the fifth. He is actually, is that the fifth?
Probably so.
Producer. Okay, we'll go with the fifth. He's a running back from the Wichita Cowboys. We've got Jason Jubert. He's a running back from the Crew/ABN. Jackson Shirley. He's a scat back from the North Texas Bills. Cameron Brown. He's a running back/linebacker from the ABN/Crew. We've got a King Thorogood. Love that name. He's a running back from the Northside Savages. We've got Pierre Cooper. He's a running back from Houston, Texas. Orlando Johnson III. He is a linebacker/quarterback from the New Orleans Dolphins. We've got Ailey Thorogood. He's a outside linebacker from the Northside Savages. We've got Cash Bailey, a wide receiver/DB from the New Orleans Dolphins. We've got Braylon McCorkey. He's a utility player, or offensive utility player from the League City 49ers. We've got Tylen Shaw. He's an athlete from Mansfield, Texas. Kyrie Hall. He's a center from the Raiders. Gage Allen. He's a offense and defensive lineman from the League City 49ers. Gavin Nelson, a offense and defensive lineman from the Jefferson City Bulldogs. And help me out that first name,
Addison
Coach.
Wilkins.
Addison Wilkins. He is a defensive end/tight end for the SED Wolverines out of Pleasant Grove. So, Coach, tell me about this team.
Good draft, another good draft. Like I told you before, it's a lot of parity. When you go down to 4 teams on the 7U, 8U, and 6U level, even on the middle 8th grade level, you run into everybody having a lot of guys that are weapons. It's all about how coaches choose to use all that talent. So starting off at the quarterback spot, you got Austin Johnson and you got Braden Welton. Braden Welton is out of Team Elevator at Kansas. This kid can sling the ball. This kid was talented last year. Austin Johnson is Austin Johnson. He's a bad, shut your mouth, that type of player at TNS. Then you got Kateri Scott, one of the top linemen I feel like around. He's out of that, I think he's with SED. I'm not sure on that move. A lot of these team names, parents, please forgive me. When I have so many kids, I do not have the opportunity of trying to figure out what team every kid moved to. I usually take the list that I have of where they were and then put them into the database for the upcoming year. And so sometimes kids have moved. Parents will inbox me and let me know. Don't take it personal. It is something that is very hard to do, of knowing every kid when it's over 1,500 kids in a database. All right. But you got Kateri Scott. Then you got Cyan Frazier with the DN from the North Texas Bills, Santana Laderos, EGB, O-line, D lineman that can plug up holes and open up holes. That's what you need in linemen. Plug up holes and open up holes. You got Aiden Johnson from DFW Elite. This kid is getting better. Every time I see him. Adrian Asbury. I think that's the name that you said that might not be with Crimson Tide anymore. Is that what you were saying?
No, I think we announced him on an earlier team. I think we had him on Team Grind as well. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and look. I know we had an Asbury before, but we'll continue on, Coach. We'll investigate that later.
Yeah. So let me get back to where I was. I'm sorry. So you got Nolan Alcade from Gainesville, Florida. You don't go this far and you not be a good lineman. If you're traveling with a lineman, it's not because he likes Twinkies or something like that. It's because he likes pancakes and he wants syrup on them when he's in Texas. So look for him to have some syrup on on your jersey or something like that because it's probably pancaking folks
Excuse
around.
me.
So, look for that to happen. Then you got Deacon Aguilar. I love that name, Deacon. Like
Yeah.
he is the minister of either offense or defense. Like you have to go through him in order to get your blessings. Then you got Simeon Reese Whitfield, New Orleans Dolphins. I'm trying to tell you, you don't run across a lot of crybabies in New Orleans. They always gut 'em, and they ready to go. All right. John Reed the fourth, that is from Wichita Cowboys. This kid can bang his head on the goalpost. He is a corner turn. Then you got Jason Duber
Hold
from
on, coach.
Fruit.
Hold on, coach. Did you know he was the fourth when you announced it, or did you have time to research what Roman numeral that one was?
No, I know the four. I know five is the V, and I know the one before it is the four.
He got me. I'm sorry, man. It's the fourth.
There
I
we
gave him the
go.
extra number.
X is 10. Hey, DeSoto education at its finest.
You know, I was
But,
just out here in Arlington.
yeah. Then you got Jackson Shirley, man, a scat back. He's a running back, scat back receiver. He's whatever you want. When you want the ball in his hands, you want to score. You want to see some highlights. He has Sports Center. He has Sports Center type plays he can make in the backfield. He's with the Bills. Cameron Brown is another running back. ABN, man. If you're able to get these ABN crew kids, what you're getting is a kid who's a coach on the field. What you're getting is a kid who's battle tested. What you're getting is a kid who's makes plays and loves the atmosphere of being in big games. King Thurgood, Northside Savages, nice. Pierre Cooper out of Houston, nice. Orlando Johnson, linebacker, corner, tackling machine, and he has good speed. Great athlete. Ali Thurgood is a twin to the other one. Outside linebacker, tackling machine, Northside Savages. Cash Bailey can get open, can make plays. He's another guy that's on the field who can do it all. DB, receiver, play both sides of the ball. Braylon McCorkle is another utility player that can play everywhere. Tylen Shaw, this guy can fit through a keyhole and he won't even skin himself up. Like that's how skinny he can get. He can make you look pretty bad. He can make you look pretty bad. He can cut on a dime and leave you 9 cents change, or he can take the whole dime. That's what he can do. Tylen Shaw. Kyrie Hall is an undersized center, but when you want to go shotgun and you want to have the ball there every time, he is the guy for you. Gage Allen is going to give you that on that O line, that D line. Gavin Nelson, same thing out of Jefferson Bulldog. I love those country boys, man. They just block a little harder and a little longer and seem to be stronger. And then you got a pass rushing specialist from SCD and Addison Wilkins. This is a good team.
Big
It's,
dog.
I like how it's configured, and they got playmakers at different spots with a good solid coaching staff.
Man, I always, it's crazy. You're out on these fields with these kids, and you don't realize their real names until you have to do a draft and their parents respond. So big shout out to Big Baby, man. Definitely was an intricate part in getting my son to the level he's at today, taking those beatings at that practice all summer and spring. So let's go ahead and move on to our next team, which will be Team Honor. So, Coach, what Texas University team will be representing Team Honor?
UTEP, University of Texas, El Paso, the Miners.
Okay, Orange and Navy. My little brother was over there for a little bit.
Yes, yes.
So tell us about the coaching staff, Coach.
Well, this coaching staff right here, Cornelius Fisher, can coach his butt off. D. Tate can coach his butt off, and then you got the ever controversial Mr. Pat on the staff together, and he can coach his butt off. It's going to be a good staff. It's going to be interesting, but I think that what they do have is all of those guys are used to hoisting up trophies, and
Most
they're used to
definitely.
hoisting up trophies. They know how to coach a lot of talent, and I think they're going to have a good staff. I mean, I think they're going to have a good team. They got a good draft. So now it's just about, like I say before, being able to make those kids buy into what you're doing and you guys working together to be able to get that staff together. That's what it's going to be about in regards to that.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the players. We're going to start off with the quarterback group, no particular order. Kayvon Bolden, quarterback, Houston, Texas. Deegan Washington, quarterback from Kansas. Taurus Walker Jr., he is a defensive and offensive lineman from Fort Worth, Texas. Jonathan Carter, he is a offensive and defensive lineman from the Fort Worth Crimson Tide. Jeremiah Perry, he is a offensive and defensive lineman from the New Orleans Dolphins. And then we have Jeremiah Pierre, he is a offensive and defensive lineman from the New Orleans Dolphins. Bryson Dabney, he is a offensive and defensive lineman from Houston, Texas. We have Royce Johnson. He is a defensive lineman and a tight end from the Hillsborough Eagles. We've got Kyrie Nellon. He's a defensive end and fullback from NDU out of North Dallas. We've got Aiden McKenzie. He is a offensive lineman from the DFW Elite. Darius Doss, he is a defensive lineman / tight end from TNS. Landon Williams, he is a running back from Houston, Texas. Camden Thompson Stewart, he is a running back / linebacker from ABN / the Crew. We've got Peterson, he is a running back from the Northside Savages. We've got Austin Alexander, he's a running back from the Oak Cliff Gators. Damian Jackson, he is a running back from / safety from the Fort Worth Crimson Tide. Pierre Evans III, he is a scat back from Cypress, Texas. Dominique Tate Jr., he is an outside linebacker / wide receiver from Houston, Texas. Nair Brown, he is a linebacker from TNS out of Fort Worth, Texas. Javon Robertson, he is a running back / linebacker from SED. Deshaun Ransom, he is a wide receiver / outside linebacker from NDU. Tristan Shepard, he is a athlete from RCU down in the Houston area. We got Jace Allen, he is a offensive lineman from League City. Kingston Howard, he is a wide receiver from Houston, Texas. Arrington Jones Jr., he is a offensive and defensive lineman from the NTX Bills. Aspen Hunter, he is an offensive and defensive lineman from the New Orleans Dolphins. Kyrie Jones, he is an offensive defensive lineman from the Southside Ducks. And Benjamin, coach, help me out with that last name.
Arsenault,
he is a quarterback / linebacker, knowing he's got good size from, we don't have his home city, but Coach, tell us
Benjamin
more about this
Arsenault
team.
is from the West Houston Giants.
West Houston Giants. So, Coach, tell us about this final team that you've assembled on this 7U level.
They hit it out the park, man. You know, now it's just about, like I said before, getting the kids signed up and getting them buying in. But you started off with LeBron James. This kid is nice. He was world famous last year. That's why I put down Houston. I don't know exactly where he is, but I know his game has traveled wherever it is. Kevon Bolden, he is spectacular with the ball. I saw him go head to head with Big Aiden twice, and Nevin, and he didn't back down. He didn't blink. He made plays. They made plays. They call him LeBron James for a reason, because he's one of the greatest of his era. Not the greatest like Kobe and Jordan, but he's up there though. You know what I'm saying? I'm just joking. LeBron James. Nothing to do with Kevon.
I'm from Akron. I was
You know what I'm
born in
saying?
Akron,
So-
Ohio.
Then you got the playmaker, the dime thrower, Tegan Washington from Olathe, Kansas. He's going to be great in the pocket on throwing that ball and everything. And then you go into D lineman, Taurus Walker Jr. Taurus Walker Jr. was the baddest sucker around last year during the CCE. He was smacking heads and he was taking heads off, man. He was our defensive player of the game. Got our defensive player award. He is a nice player, nice pickup for them out of Fort Worth. Then you got Jonathan Carter, Jeremiah Pierre, Bryson Dabney, Royce Johnson, Kyrie Nealon, and Aiden McKenzie, and then Decarius Doss. Those are all the linemen they got. And I'm going to give you the team names, and then you're going to just see how this lines up. DFW League, NDU, Hillsborough, Houston, New Orleans Dolphins, Crimson Tide, and then Fort Worth. They went and got the dogs off teams and put them all on a team in alignment. They didn't say we got to be from the same team. They said, give me him, he's bad. 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 And they just got to make it mesh with those lines.
What they seen.
Then they came back with London Williams. London Williams. He is special. Special. He is nice. He was born to have the ball in his hands. And I'm not talking about catching it like this. I'm talking about running that thing. He is nice with it. Then you go Camden Thompson-Stewart out of ABN Recruit. Those are two backs out of Houston who you cannot start sentences off without giving them their respect. Then you go Chaseon Peters, another nice running back out of Houston. Then they come back and they go Austin Alexander, kid who some are sleeping on. They don't know about him. Austin Alexander, man, is nice. He has his own navigation system and it always ends up in the end zone. Oak Cliff Gators. Then they come back with a Fort Worth running back, Demarion Jackson, and then they ended off with a scat back with Perry Evans III. I like that set of running backs. They went after not harmony, but straight talent that fits what they're going to be able to do. Then you got Dominique Tate, coach's son, smart, tackle machine, can play receiver, can play DB. He's a football player that's on the football field. Nazir Brown is a tackling machine from TNS, tough guy, won't let anything get by him. Then you got Javion Robertson, another running back from SCD.
Big chop.
It's nice. It's nice. Deshaun Ransom, NDU. Tristan Shepard, athlete, RCU. Jace Allen, League City. Kingston Howard, receiver, played in big games. Arrington Jones Jr., lineman, Aspen Hunter, lineman, New Orleans Dolphins, North Texas Bills. Then you go another lineman, Kyrie Jones, Southside Ducks, and then you finish it out with a playmaker from West Houston Giants and Benjamin Arsenault. I don't know. I mean, it's good defenses and it's good offenses. When it's good offenses and good defenses, usually the score is going to be 42-40 in all of these games. And the person who has the ball last will win. Those are the kind of games we're going for at CCE. Good hitting, good play calling, people making big-time plays on big stages. That's what you want to have right here in Dallas, Texas. This is the CCE 2022 7U draft. 4 teams. UTEP, Texas Longhorns, University of Houston Cougars, and TCU.
Ooh, man.
Good football. They're going to be in some pretty uniforms. They're going to be in some pretty uniforms. You're going to love the uniforms and the accessories that come with it.
Well, you definitely have a team picked out on that last one. Well, first, before I move on, I want to go ahead and I have a message. It is London Williams. My apologies. I was reading through the names too quickly. And like I said, I want to personally give him an interview if you guys attend CCE to make up for the mistake. Second, man, got a lot of Party Boys talent. Party Boys, NTX Bills, DFW talent all over here, NDU. And, man, this last team with Big Chop's going to be a problem. So, we got CCE coming up, some of the best talent from around the area. You guys know, tune in here to see it live. We will have probably a large majority of the games covered. We might be able to have the capability of having all the games live streamed by the time the tournament rolls around. Stay tuned. There's going to be some up-and-coming news about Semi-Pro Live and growth. But outside of that, please like and share the page. Check out CCE, their Facebook page. Like, share, and follow them. And as always, man. Oh, what you got, producer? Huh? Oh, thanks for tuning in and watching the Monday Night Show with Tavar and them. Catch us live tomorrow, Wednesday Night Lights. And catch us live from Bishop, Texas, over by Corpus Christi, down for the playoffs with the Bishop Badgers. We'll see you guys next time on Semi-Pro Live.